The mouse of the day is baking Bella, and she just made me these delicious looking chocolate chip cookies. Oh, they smell so nice. I cannot wait to dig in, but first guys, don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Now let's give these a little taste test. Guys, stick around until the end of the video if you want to see me try these delicious cookies. The scent of warm sugar and cinnamon wafted through the air, wrapping the entire mouse village in a comforting hug. It could only mean one thing: Baking Bella was at it again. Her tiny bakery was nestled at the end of a cobblestone street, and it was the heart of the mouse village. Every morning, without fail, Bella rose before the sun, lighting the oven in her cozy, tiny little kitchen and filling the air with the promise of fresh pastries, cakes, and treats. Bella's passion for baking began when she was just a tiny little mouse. She was watching her grandmother mix dough in a wooden bowl that was almost twice her size. Her grandmother would hum softly as she worked, and Bella would wash wide eyes as she dusted the countertops with flour to help her out. The magic all seemed to really happen in the oven, though. From this point on, Bella knew she had found her calling. Now, years later, Bella's bakery had been known throughout the entire mouse village and beyond. Mice from neighboring burrows would scurry over just to get a taste of her famous honey cakes or her perfectly fluffed cheese danishes. They were just so delicious. There was something special about Bella's baking. It wasn't just the ingredients, it was the love and care that she put into everything that she made. This morning, Bella was working on a new recipe she'd been dreaming about for weeks. They were blueberry crumble tarts. Her whiskers twitched with excitement as she carefully measured out the ingredients, mixing the flour and butter together until it formed a delicate dough. With a soft hum, she rolled it out, cutting perfect little circles from the base of each tart. From the windows of her bakery, Bella could see the village starting to wake up. Mice scurried by on their way to work, pausing to sniff the air as the first batches of pastries began to bake. The smell of butter and sugar mixed with the sweet scents of blueberries, making everyone's mouth water and their hearts warm. As the oven ticked away, Bella moved on to her next project, her famous cheddar herb scones. These were always a hit, especially during the cooler months when a warm, savory snack was just what everyone needed. She carefully mixed the sharp cheddar into the dough, adding a sprinkle of rosemary and thyme for an extra burst of flavor. "Good morning, Bella," came a voice from the doorway. Bella looked up to see Massive Milo, one of her most loyal customers. He was standing at the entrance with a wide grin on his face. His nose twitched as he caught a whiff of the fresh pastries. "Morning, Milo," Bella said with a smile. "You're here early. What can I get you?" Milo rubbed his paws together, glancing eagerly at the trays of baked goods behind Bella. "I couldn't resist. I could smell those cheddar scones from halfway across the village." "I'll take 2, please." Bella chuckled and wrapped up 2 warm scones in a small paper bag, handing them over to Massive Milo. "Here you go, fresh out of the oven." Milo took a deep breath, savoring the smell before he took a bite. His eyes lit up and he nodded in approval. "Bella, you've outdone yourself again. These are perfect." "Thanks, Milo," Bella said, her cheeks flushing slightly under her fur. "I've been experimenting with a brand new blend of herbs." "I'm glad you like them, Milo." After Milo left, Bella turned back to her work, checking on the blueberry crumble tarts. The golden crust was just starting to crisp at the edges, and the juicy blueberries had been bubbling up, releasing a sweet, sticky aroma that filled the entire bakery with a nice smell. She couldn't wait to share them with the village. As the morning went on, more and more mice trickled in, their paws tapping impatiently as they waited for their favorite treats. Some ordered Bella's classic cheese croissants, while others couldn't resist her chocolate-drizzled puff pastries. Bella greeted each and everyone with a warm smile, her paws working quickly to wrap up the orders while the oven stayed busy. But despite the constant hustle and bustle, Bella never lost her focus. She was the happiest when she was baking, creating something delicious that everyone could enjoy. It was her way of bringing a little bit of joy into everyone's lives that passed through the door. Today, though, Bella had something special planned. She'd been working on a new recipe. It was a great one, a layered lemon sponge cake with whipped cream frosting and candied lemon slices on top. It was a tricky recipe, one that required precision and patience, but Bella was determined to get it right. She knew it would just be perfect for the upcoming Harvest Festival. The village celebrated the Harvest Festival every year. It was a time for everyone to come together, share food, and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Bella had been chosen to provide the desserts for the festival this year, and she wanted to make sure they were just right. As she whisked together the ingredients for the lemon sponge, Bella felt a flutter of excitement. She loved the challenge of a new recipe, the way each step brought her closer to creating something magical. The soft, yellow batter shimmered as she poured it into the cake tins. The scent of fresh lemon zest was filling the air. Just as she was about to pop the cakes in the oven, the bell at the door jingled. Bella looked up to see Floral Fiona, another friend from the village, stepping inside with a bouquet of flowers. "Good morning, Bella," Fiona said, her eyes bright with excitement. "I brought you some flowers for the bakery. I thought they'd brighten up the place." Bella smiled, her heart warming at the thoughtful gesture. "Thank you, Fiona. They're beautiful." As Bella placed the flowers in a vase, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the wonderful community that she was a part of. The village may have been small, but it was filled with kind-hearted mice who supported each other. And Bella was happy to contribute, one pastry at a time. The Harvest Festival was only 2 days away, and Baking Bella could feel the excitement building in the village. Every mouse she met was buzzing with anticipation, and Bella was more determined than ever to make her desserts the highlight of the entire event. The layered lemon sponge cake was coming along perfectly, the golden sponge layers cooling on the counter while she whipped up a batch of the lightest, fluffiest whipped cream you'd ever seen in your whole life. As Bella carefully spread the whipped cream frosting between the layers, her thoughts wandered back to how much she loved being a part of the festival each year. It wasn't just about the baking, it was about bringing everyone together. There was something magical about watching the villagers gathered around long wooden tables, chatting, laughing, and sharing stories over slices of cake and cups of tea. The doorbell jingled once more, and in rolled Tyler, a friend from across the mouse village. He was balancing a tray of freshly picked apples on his head, and his paws were gripping the edges carefully. "Bella, I brought you some apples that you asked for," he said with a grin as he set the tray down on the counter. Bella's face lit up. "Oh, these are perfect, Tube Tyler. Thank you so much. I'm going to use them for my apple turnovers I'm making for the festival." Tyler's whiskers twitched with excitement. "I can't wait for them. Everyone's been talking about your apple turnovers and how delicious they are. We're really excited to see your new recipes as well. They say you've been working on something extra special." Bella chuckled as she was carefully arranging the cake, smoothing the frosting down. "I'm trying. I just hope everything turns out the way I've imagined it." Tyler gave her a reassuring nod. "If anyone can pull it off, it's you, Bella. You're the best baker in the village. Everyone knows that." With the final wave, Tube Tyler rolled away from the bakery, leaving Bella to finish decorating her cake. The last step was the candied lemon slices she had prepared the night before. She placed each one very, very delicately on top of the cake, the golden sugar glistening in the sunlight. It was streaming down through the window. The lemon sponge cake looked even better than she had hoped. Bright, zesty, and full of flavor. She could already imagine the look on the villagers' faces when they took their first bite. With the cake safely stored away, Bella turned her attention to the apple turnovers. She loved making apple turnovers. There was something so satisfying about folding the flaky pastry dough over the sweet, sweet spiced apple filling. As she rolled out the dough and cut it into perfect squares, Bella thought about all the different treats that she'd be making for the festival. In addition to these treats, she actually also planned to make her cinnamon rolls, mini cheese quiches, chocolate tarts, and of course, her famous honey cakes. The kitchen was soon filled with the delicious smell of apples, cinnamon, and nutmeg as Bella worked her magic, filling the pastries with the spiced apple mixture and carefully crimping the edges. One by one, she placed them on a baking tray and slid them in the oven. As the turnovers baked, Bella prepared the icing for the cinnamon rolls. She loved the way the sugary glaze melted over the warm rolls, coating them in a sweet, sticky layer that made every single bite irresistible. The doorbell chimed again, and Bella looked up to see Massive Milo returning, this time with a group of excited villagers in tow. "We couldn't wait for the festival," Milo said with a laugh. "Can we please get a sneak peek of what you've been working on?" Bella smiled, always happy to share her treats. "Of course, but you think you're pleading Patrick? I just finished some blueberry scones and some crumble tarts. Help yourselves." The group of mice eagerly gathered around the corner, so excited to see the sight of fresh pastries. Bella served each one with care, watching as her eyes lit up after the first bite. "These scones are amazing," one of the villagers exclaimed, taking a big bite. "You've really outdone yourself again, Bella." "These blueberry tarts are to die for," said another mouse. Bella's heart swelled with pride. Seeing her friends and neighbors enjoy her baking was always the best part of the job. It made all the early mornings and the long hours late at night in the kitchen worth it. As the group of villagers left, happily munching on their treats, Bella's thoughts returned to the harvest festival. There was still so much to do, but she was confident that everything would come together in time. The cake was ready, the turnovers were baking, and the cinnamon rolls were nearly finished. She still had to prepare the honey cakes and the chocolate tarts, but Bella wasn't worried. Baking was her passion, and she loved every minute of it. The next day, the village square was transformed completely for the festival. Bella's bakery stall was front and center, piled high with trays of her freshly baked treats. As the villagers started to arrive, they were drawn to her stall like moth to a flame. The scent of her fresh pastries were irresistible. The lemon sponge cake was a showstopper, its bright yellow layers and candied lemons catching everyone's eye. The apple turnovers were warm and flaky, and they disappeared almost as quickly as Bella could serve them. Throughout the day, Bella barely had any moment to catch her breath as she sliced cakes, handed out pastries, and greeted every mouse that came by with a smile. But even in the hustle and bustle, she still felt a deep sense of satisfaction. This was what she loved, sharing her creations with others, bringing a little sweetness into their lives. As the sun began to set and the festival started to wind down, Bella looked around at all the happy faces of her friends and neighbors. The trays of pastries were nearly empty, and the village square was filled with the sounds of laughter and happy conversations. Bella wiped her paw on her apron and took a deep breath. Her heart was full. She had done it. Another successful harvest festival, and another day spent doing what she loved most. And as she packed up the last of her baked goods, Bella smiled to herself, already thinking about what she would bake next. Because for Bella, the joy of baking never ended. It was always just the beginning. Guys, it's finally time to try baking Bella's fresh baked cookies. These smell so good, and they've already cooled down a little bit, so it's perfect timing to take a bite. Baking Bella, you've outdone yourself again. These are so good. Guys, 10 out of 10. Please hit up Baking Bella's shop in Wisconsin. It's in Wisconsin Square Garden if you guys want to get some, but these are so good. Do you guys mess with Baking Bella?